Hi, hi! Hi, hi, hi! Wow. Hello, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the StarCraft 2 show that is on the web. It's the ITaX show. Let's just call it what it... No, it's actually the Pro Circuit. Not the Pro Circuit, sorry. The... Wow, that's a solid start. As per usual, it's the Super Series from Into the ITaX, and you know what? Looking very much forward to this one because we have two pretty darn impressive players ready to kind of showboat around in the overall StarCraft 2 arena, and we are hoping that they will get started very quickly. Of course, our apologies for any delay that we may have had in the meanwhile. A little bit unfortunate here with the overall timing of things, I suppose. I'm not sure how to call it necessarily, but yeah, obviously it didn't go as we hoped timing wise. But anyway, we do have Cure here right now. We're still waiting for Dark, it looks like, but he should arrive at any moment. And yeah, we're just gonna wait for that a little bit here, and meanwhile we're just gonna kind of talk together here about just the overall hype that we have, because it is Cure versus Dark. Oh my dear lord, TVZ, first and foremost, highly regarded, genuinely, and also generally, as pretty much the best matchup, right? Except for if you're a Protoss, but other than that, it's the best matchup. And, I mean, can't complain. Overall, though, I suppose there's the least amount of Protoss players, if I am supposed to believe the overall statistics on those numbers. So I do believe there's the least amount of Protoss players, and that would mean that the most favorite matchup would be TVZ, right? Statistically speaking, overall. So that's always nice. I don't know why that has any implications on you guys, but it's a fun little thing to think about, right? I suppose sometimes. Anyway. Cure and Dark, both of them not really getting all the way in the GSL this time around. We've been seeing Dark actually perhaps a little bit struggle recently compared to his previous dominance in the overall scene. And maybe because of this, we've been seeing him doing a whole lot more of the overall regular online tournament thingamajigs, right? We've seen him in the Olima League a couple of times. I didn't necessarily see him, but I know that he was there. I know he was there because I saw Maynard tweet about it, and I saw it on Liquipedia as well. So that's nice, And now he's here as well. He used to be a little bit more aloof, not quite as, you know what, continuously there for any type of online tournaments, and really enjoying seeing him more around on the online market. Allows me to actually cast him as well, and very, very happy about that, first and foremost, because he is just an amazing Zerg that deserves our viewership as much as possible now that he is, you know, a player to be reckoned with. Actually, he still has to go to military service as well, right, at some point. So, you know what, you might as well just squeeze in as much StarCraft of Dark as possible right now, as he is still available. Because who knows for how long he is going to be available here. Anyway, apparently he's not available right now. He's not here yet. I know that we have multiple people talking to him overall on the subject of arriving here. And you know what, I'm trusting Inu here. Inu, the Korean commentator, as well as the organizer of this in a lot of stuff. And we'll be able to get things sorted. And yeah, we trust in Inu. In Inu, we trust to provide us with the darkness we all desire. And then let's talk about Cure for a little bit here. Cure, he is absolutely mental overall in StarCraft 2, especially in the online scenes. We've seen him completely dominating continuously in offline cups such as GSL and things like this, of course. There's a whole lot more planning that is involved, which, you know what, it doesn't seem to be his strong suit, which, I mean, to be fair, if you're trying to learn StarCraft 2 overall, or if you're trying to pick up some builds, if you're trying to pick up what to do overall, I'd say then, you know what, those planned out matches, probably not the best thing to be watching. It's amazing to see, of course. It's absolutely lovely. Really shows all the brain power and the execution that can go into like a longer series in an offline event that somebody really practices for, right? It looks completely different than these online matches where people, you know, they don't put in as much overall brain power in trying to conceive of plans. They're not particularly continuously just prepping for this one match that's coming up for a long time. So it's more like a genuine ladder experience that they probably would have regularly, right? Regular play, straight up play, and that's kind of what I'm hoping to see here from these two players. Maybe here and there, a little bit of cheese, right? You know what? That's just part of the whole shebang. And in a best of 9, you know what? We could have that. And to be fair, honestly, the GSL Finals is not a best of 9, is it? So missed opportunity? I'd say yes. I definitely do think so. Best of 9's just so much better. I've seen a couple of fully, how do you call this? The return, the full reverse sweep happening now and again in a best of 9 even. Right? Somebody gets up to 4 points and then suddenly somebody's like, you know what? I could win this. And then just takes 5 games in a row. I've seen it happen. It's a rare occurrence, a very rare occurrence. But every time in the best of 7 and it does get 4-0'd, I mean, we've seen that happen as well recently, haven't we? So, I'm just sitting there thinking like, all right, well, if this was a best of 9 though, if this was the best of 9, there's always still a potential, but I suppose you could say that about any best of... Well, maybe best of 9's kind of on the ballpark there, where it kind of has reached its limitations, right? I'd say after a best of 9 it becomes a little bit ridiculous if you want to get a full reverse sweep. Because then it may just be too much, you know? You know what I'm saying? Which would be a best of 11. You would lose 6 games in a row instead of 4 games in a row. No, wait, 5. You would lose 5 games in a row. Is that anyway? Around that ballpark. Anyway, all right. Well, we got some good news for you guys. Dark has arrived. We have him in the lobby right now, and together with Cure, of course, also a important asset in this in this best of 9. We'll be here as well to provide us with some lovely little bit of StarCraft 2. And yeah, we're starting off on Ice and Chrome as well. Very nice one. Best of 69 format. Changed my mind. All right. You know what? That might be true. But on a different level, right? Would be rather difficult to get a full reverse sweep going with that, right? Because that would be like a 30-35. So somebody would be on... Right, 35 would be, 35 would be the winning mark there. So if you lose 34 games in a row and then you full reverse sweep to 35, you know, that becomes into the real science fiction kind of world. Alright, there we go. Everything is in. What's up, Kashim? How you doing, my man? Liquipedia extraordinaire. All right. Let's wait and see when the countdown will start. It's probably not going to be all that long anymore from this moment onwards. They're laughing a lot in the chat right now. It might have to do something with the overall delay and what the delay caused. What I at least know about it was that there was something happening with a company or something like that. Something happened to the company. Suddenly as well. So a sudden something happens to a company, and that's why the delay happens. So that's always, you know what, it's always a little bit of a barrier communicating with the Koreans now and again, but that's what we have. Oh, look at that, cynical as well here. Johnson is here as well. What's up, my peeps? What's up? Punk Philip as well. Cure fighting, cheering on for Cure. Do you understand Hangul? Is that a person? Is that a person that has like a funky accent or is making a lot of typos? I hope so. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't. Unless if it's Dutch or English, you have very little chance of me understanding something. A little bit of German, a little bit of French. German a little bit easier for me to pick up. That's the Korean hand. You see, that's where we fall off. immediately. All right. Well, with that embarrassing occurrence, let's forget about that happening and jump in here. In the bottom left side, we have ourselves a blue Zerg. He is none other than Dragon Phoenix Gaming. He is dark. Put your hands together for this man over here. Of course, I mean, an absolute legend. One of the finest of the overall Korean players, I would say. Not just overall a great Zerg player, but just overall StarCraft player in general. For sure. Alright, in the top right side, there he is, the red Tavern player, also from Dragon Phoenix Gaming. What a coincidence. Anyway, he is Cure. I appreciate it. Boy Fantasy. I appreciate it. I try to, you know, just not be bothered by my own incompetence and just say whatever. You know what? Sometimes when you ever have those moments where, like, I risk putting myself to more shame than I already was. But sometimes, right, you make a mistake about something and then people think you're joking about something because they're like, that's kind of funny. Yeah. And then you just kind of roll along with it. It's like, yeah, that's right. Oh, I know. Oh, silly me. Always goofing off, ain't I? That's right. Kind of what that felt like. Anyway, both these guys doing standard stuff. There we go. Done our casting for today. I bought an entire bag of peanuts, actually. That was worth $7 to $8. It's a big one. It's a behemoth of a bag of peanuts. I'm fully prepared for a full day of casting. Alright, so let's talk about some more with these players, right? They are teammates. I wonder how much they actually play together. I don't think either of them have actually really had to practice very recently for some sort of a big match for either of these guys, except for, well, I guess the GSL stuff, right? But other than that, I have to wonder. It's very hard to remove the Twitch menace. Yeah, I agree, honestly. Sometimes, you know. Especially because, you know, so many of the things here are still similar. Are still a little bit similar. Okay, Cure going for a quick third command center. Just greeting it up right now, living the big life. Living large, unbothered by the economic oppression occurring right now with that third command center, of course. And what was it talking? I think it was talking about Dark, right? Or either of these players not really having to prep for something. So, yeah, I am expecting just straight up play from both these players, honestly. I don't think we're going to see too much weird all-inny stuff, right? It just doesn't seem to be Dark style. It doesn't seem to be Cure style. So I think that we will be able to get a good amount of long macro games between these two. In particular, Dark, I would say, you know, always just going on about wanting to just be the pinnacle of StarCraft 2. You know what, when people say StarCraft 2, immediately Dark comes to mind, much like Flash comes to mind when you mention StarCraft 1. And that's a big ask, of course. Now, yeah, he almost did it a couple of times, honestly. Very close, and I think if he wants to have that name succeed, matches like these he should win, of course. I know it's against Cure, but it's a little offline match. You know, it's a best of 9, definitely. If you lose a best of 9, especially with like a, what is it, like a 4-2, or like a 5-2, or a 5-3, gonna be a bit difficult to really call yourself the Bisu. That's right. The Bojang Horseman. Alright, coming in here. Oh, nice block there immediately with those links on top of these Hellions. Not a single drone. Oh, wait a moment. There's a Liberator elsewhere, isn't there? No, it's actually the Hellions work. Okay, so they just barbecued a couple of them over here. I thought the drones were pretty safe there, but still getting 3. Keeps all the Hellions alive as well, so, you know, a neat little trick there. Using that medevac, but I'd say a very stellar defense of Dark there overall. The Liberator coming in as well. There's already a Spore Crawler set up. And, that should be nice. Okay, +1 on the way here for both these players now. Queen needs to skedaddle. 2 more workers do fall. That makes a total of 5 workers already. Starting to get somewhere here for Cure. Wait, did he just siege up over here? What in the dickens? Why would you do that? Interesting. Cure just like, you know what? I'm bored. Let me spend my APM somewhere, just without any real intent of getting anything done there. Maybe it's just like it's a fancy way of using the hold position key, right? Just an extra click, but then you will hold position there. Coming in here with a follow-up attack still can bring those Hellions along as well, but it looks like he will keep them behind in order to prevent any Ling run-bys here. And that's a very nice idea. You know what, in these higher obliques, you always need to worry about just a couple of Lings suddenly running by somewhere as the opponent sees that you're being aggressive. Very important for Cure, though, with these types of pokes to try and get rid of as much creep as possible, right? The more creep you deny, the better it's going to be for you. And there he goes in again with the 2 medevacs here. Will be able to pick up in case he has to. And, you know, just trading a little bit. Doesn't take too much damage. And, yeah, good solid stuff so far for Cure. He can stay there if he uses F2. I mean, he really shouldn't be using F2 overall. I'd say a Terran player, like, it is detrimental. He also has a Reaper over here he wants to keep, so... you know, the watchtowers are important. You do a lot of dropping with Terran. You want to keep stuff at home as well, like this reinforcements in case of stuff, so... It's a good idea, but I'm not sure if you were being serious either, but... It would be a rough one. It would be a rough one. Anyway, coming up right now is this attack, of course. Still a very nice patch of creep here has been made by Dark. Going in for the counter-attack here. Nice wall of immediately being put down by Cure will prevent any extra damage being taken. And now... this attack is suddenly surrounded by 2 massive packs of Zerglings and Banelings, and in he comes. The Siege Tanks are unsieged. The Hellbats are still pretty, you know, stacked up as well, so the Banelings do alright against those, but at the same time, training alright against those Zerglings, of course. So, overall, he did lose 1 Siege Tank there, just a couple of Hellbats, only 6 of them. Yeah, I don't mind that too much for Cure here. Baneling speed did just finish up though, so I think it's a little bit at an end to just kind of push through the middle here. So I've been wrong about that a couple of times already. Sometimes you do see just these Terran players continuously pushing through the middle and trading out efficiently enough, kind of like I like how Tasteless calls it, like an arm wrestling match where they just continuously kind of push into you, and then every time they just kind of pump you further down and down into the table, and ultimately it just becomes too much and you drop right down there. You can get crushed. Alright, Mutalisk though, also on the fields. That makes it a lot more difficult, of course. You can't just have a bunch of Marines inside of a little wall choke points in order to save yourself from those. At the same time, Dark will try to get rid of all of this. Some Banelings there hitting Siege Tanks, actually. Not liking that trade so much, but... also the Mutalisk not getting too much done, honestly. And that's always the danger of coming in head-on into a Terran player here. But look at the nice bit of overall land that has been freed up from creep right now. Cure definitely having a good solid foothold to set up. But on the sides over here, there's still a little bit of creep on both these sides, so definitely an opportunity for Dark to set up some sort of a flank and come in from multiple angles, which he's not doing again here, which has me a little bit worried. So these Marines, a lot easier for them to micro backwards, and lovely targeting there on those banelings as well. Dark once again taking a trade where I'm not quite sure if he took the better end of that deal. Does force Cure a little bit backwards, but not for too long with the reinforcements coming in here. I wouldn't be surprised if he just pushes straight back out at this moment in time. Needs to keep that pressure going, of course, before we really get any late game tech of the Zerg up and rolling. Unless if Cure already wants to start prepping for that late game tech, of course. Right now, we do see a Thor on the way, but that's mostly for the Mutalisk. He's getting +3/+3. Wouldn't mind seeing a Ghost Academy here. Oh my god, these Mutalisks, actually quite a bunch of them now caught out. Will take a bit of damage here. This Widowmine as well. 7 kills on that bad boy. Probably all Lings though, fortunately for Dark. Hopefully. Hopefully. But Jack, you're doing a bang-up job so far. And out he comes again. We're only seeing the Hive Tech right now on the way, so looking pretty darn smooth here for another attempted attack. I'm wondering if he's expecting already another attack coming in here. What I mean is actually if he's wondering. Say something correct here, Cotan. Just let me reassemble my thoughts. No, I'm wondering if Cure is thinking that Hive Tech may or have already been done, and that we're a little bit closer to, say, Ultralisk or something like that already. Maybe even Vipers, because we did see the switch from the Siege Tanks into the Widowmines here. Widowmines do a lot better against Vipers, of course. A lot more difficult to harpoon. And Blinding Clouds don't do as much against those as they do to the Siege Tanks. Alright, in we go again. The Widowmines not getting crazy connections here. And actually, Dark really getting a good trade there, I would say. Killing off a lot of the Mariners. And even though he is still behind overall with this... with the minerals lost a value... Oh boy, those paintings need to run around. I think that was the first one where he actually kind of cleaned up the Terran army here. But it's still a scary force to be reckoned with. I mean, those Thors and the Widowmines definitely going to keep those Mutalisk backwards. And only now we're seeing that Ultralisk Kevin on the way. +3/+3 as well now for the bio finished up here. And Cure will be able to definitely take some better trades now up and for quite a while before Dark has the his own +3/+3. Needs to be careful against those Widowmines, of course. Just send in small patches of units. Okay, here we go. Again, trying to get the surround going. But these corners, they are so difficult to fight against. A Terran army in these positions is capable of pushing him backwards. Another Widowmine, though. Let's see. Not the greatest connections once more. Cure really a little bit lackluster overall in his targeting with those Widowmines. But the spread was absolutely immaculate. We're already seeing more and more Marauders being mixed into this composition as well. So Cure, he should be ready for the Ultralisk as well. Alright, another fight here. Widowmine. Okay, again. Man. I'm not sure if this is Dark's doing or if it's just Cure not targeting them. But yeah, they have been very lackluster. Incredibly inefficient, really. Well, they're still efficient, I suppose. They're cost efficient, but overall, when you know the potential of those Widowmines, it's not really getting there. And that's why we're still in this little in-between mix where Cure not really finding an opportunity to do real economic damage, which hasn't happened for a while now. Okay, this could be big. And yeah, that was a pretty reasonable Widowmine connection there. Costing a lot of Banelings and Zerglings their lives, but now with the Ultralisk here as well, the Zerglings wrapping around, causing this army not to be able to move away. The Mutalisk cleaning up the Thor as well with a nice bit of magic boxing, but I mean, once more, Cure's is pushing backwards. Well, I mean, we're going to be seeing this game taken. I suppose Dark now a little bit on the ropes here. It's going to be more and more difficult for him to keep expanding. Cure still has some opportunities, of course, with those planetary fortresses. It's going to be a little bit easier for him to expand in some cases. Dark finally going to try and do some counter-aggression as well on the other side, which I definitely like to see. But yeah, there's definitely still quite obvious tech routes to be taken here for Cure, right? Definitely can go into the Ghost, can go into, you know what, more upgrades for Thors and stuff. But for Dark right now, I suppose Infestors, Vipers, stuff like this may be able to still help him out quite a bit. He's filling in some Corruptors here as well. I wonder if that was a mistake. There's only 2 of them. Actually, probably not a mistake, I would say. Probably just doesn't want to make more Mutalisk and instead gets himself Corruptors in order to kill off the Medifex. Because you can't just go around without any Mutalisk or Corruptors, right? Because then the army will just continuously pick up, go elsewhere, and that's going to be an absolute ball ache. Anyway, in we go again. A lot of Banelings here, actually. Being able to blow up this planetary fortress. I mean, he did lose his entire army, but that was a very nice little bit of economic damage there. Getting dealt by Dark. This one Widowmine here, denying this base for quite a while, actually. Dark really wants to get himself that base secured, but not quite being able to do so. Dark now about 50 supply in the lead as well. Definitely in the best position we've seen him so far. We may want to have some moderation in the chat, by the way. Hold up. How do I do this? How do I... There we go. Okay, sorry guys. I don't know where the mods are. Anyway, in we go again. Oh, that was a massive Widowmine hit, actually. Gonna allow quite a nice trade here from these Marauders and the Marines now to keep pushing into this location for a little bit longer. But there is more Zerglings and no further Widowmines remaining. Does manage to boost out of there, though. Corruptors, you know, they are pretty good, but not plentiful enough to really shut those babies down from the sky. I'm loving this from Dark, though. Already having a patch of units on the left side as well. We'll be able to anticipate something of this sort and should be able to shut this down rather nicely. Although the Banelings all connecting onto the Marauders there. Absolutely horrific trade there for the Baneling numbers. But we still have some nice attacking going on the other side as well, though, of course. So this is a weird semi-base trade scenario where both these players actually will be able to pick off bases of what the other one. Although, you know what? This base actually stays afloat. And Dark may lose another one. I mean, he's ahead with, what is it, 50 supply here, but... Okay. Whew. This must be enough Zerglings, right? He's trading out so cost inefficiently, though. This is absolutely mental. Some lovely stuff. And actually, we don't have Adrenal Glands. I was thinking, like, these Zerglings, they seem like they're not doing as much damage as they can. And am I crazy? It's not here, is it? It's not there. Where is it? This is a big mistake. Adrenal Glands, a massive upgrade for those Zerglings. Definitely changes the entire overall mechanics of how all of these trades go. Another Widowmine there. Being reasonable. I mean, yes, he's ahead with 100 supply, but those Adrenal Glands. Those Adrenal Glands. I mean, if he loses this game, we're going to have to definitely say that that is going to be the reason why. Pretty darn nutty. Okay, well, Cure still hanging on here. He only has 45 workers, so it's going to be a difficult one for him to shut this one down. Dark doing a wonderful job overall, keeping his bases alive, right? If we look over here, he only lost a single base right up until this point. 2 planetary fortresses only have died as well, but, I mean, Dark just doing a wonderful job. Yes, he is so far behind on the overall resources lost, but I mean, he only lost 16 workers as well. An absolute impenetrable armada of Zerg continuously safeguarding the economy here. And it's paying dividends right now. We'll be able to get another base killed off here. A lot of SCVs. And there it is. GG. Dark wins the first game. Wait, am I on? I'm on. There we go. Dark wins the first one. Very nice plays there from him. We'll be able to, you know what, take that first victory. Well deserved, well deserved. Got really close a couple of times. I thought Kure did a proper enough job kind of, you know what, spearheading himself towards the Zerg base, continuously wiping up that creep. And so many times against lesser Zergs, I've seen Kure do this. And then ultimately, up until the point where suddenly we have this entire scenario falling apart. And, alright, Mage is also, okay. But yeah, just falling apart for the Zerg, right? He takes a reasonable fight. He cleans up the Terran forces, but then reinforcements come in, and he's not ready yet, right? There's no more banglings, right, available. And suddenly, you know what, he has to retreat with all his forces again, and then he takes a little bit of losses on the retreats. And Kure, just his overall steamrolling and mechanics, his trade efficiency, and his absolutely stellar macro kind of gets himself through the entire scenario there. In this case, Dark being able to, you know what, kind of take the same traits I would see in a lot of other matches against Kure, but still being able to keep his macro up behind this properly enough. Keeping the injects going, keeping the creep spread going elsewhere far enough that he didn't have to worry too much about the spearheading maneuver there, I suppose. Or at least he was very capable of immediately just spreading creep around that location, and then whenever Kure kind of stopped pressuring that exact spot, Dark just kind of, you know what I mean with, just like continuously respreading that creep. Absolutely lovely. Lovely stuff. Alright guys, game number 2 already here on the screen, on the silver screen, on the, is that, I mean, what would be the, I think, you know what, we may be in a Terran victory here. Terran. Dark was playing Terran. We're gonna call this the golden screen era, alright? I know the silver screen was the from like the movie theaters, alright, and stuff like that. I think we've arrived at the golden screen time, and then later on we'll get ourselves into the platinum screen. I don't know what that will be. Might be some sort of a science fiction kind of thing that we don't know about yet, or something that's in the works right now and that I don't know about yet. All right, here we go. Here we go. Eternal Empire. This time around, we do have the right races selected, so that's always a plus overall. Remember, guys, there is a Matcherino page as well. If you haven't filled it out just yet, there is a code available, and you will be able to, you know, support the overall scene, support these players, and most importantly, of course, support ITaX because because we're what's really important. Yes, no. It would just be very much appreciated. Let me get these scores set up for you guys. There we go. Whew. Well then, we finally have a little bit of a moment of rest. I'll introduce these players as you know, as I will. It's gonna take a little bit of a breather. Have a sip of water. I recommend everybody to drink as much water as you need to, of course. First and foremost, just because, you know what, you need water every day, but also because it's kind of hot right now, a period of time. At least in the Netherlands it is. Feels like we're in our second summer period right now. I don't know how it happens, but like within a period of 1 or 2 months, we go from summer to spring to summer to autumn to summer, probably later on again. Somewhere. Anyway, alright. In the top right side of the map, we have a red Terran player. So far, not doing any proxy rexing yet. I'm not actually expecting him to do so, honestly. Unless if this just goes the entire wrong way again here. But anyway, still in a pretty good position here. He is the Red Terran. Dragon Phoenix Gaming's Cure. Bottom left side, his opponent, his team member. His team member from another family member. That didn't sound as cool as I thought it would. Anyway, he is Dragon Phoenix Gaming's Dark. Oh, Dark. Alright, blocking that third base. Always a nice thing to do. We'll keep Dark from expanding it for quite a while, actually. Already almost 100. There we go, 100 minerals already above this right now. We're gonna go up 200 minerals. Oh, that's a lot of money you're floating there, Dark. It's something happened. Oh my. It's always frustrating when stuff like this happens, of course. And with the Reaper in between. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, nice moving on top of that nade there. A little bit of a misplaced. Could have bounced that queen a little bit further backwards. Actually, the queen not moving out just yet. Okay, wants to get that creep tumor down first. But yeah, this is just such a incredible amount of delay here. And Dark, he realized he's just not going to go for the same thing anymore. He's going for the lay attack very quickly here. Doesn't want this to snowball too far out of control. Which it already kind of has, of course, being forced into a pathway which it really didn't want to, it looks like. And that is always a difficult thing when that occurs. It's a similar thing of kind of with the Protoss going for the drone or this natural base block. Still being here. Look at that, just squeezing out that value here. Oh my god, even bouncing the queen out on top of the hatchery location. So just a little bit of extra time. Just a little bit. Although, you know what, he didn't have the money anymore for this, and I'm not even sure if he wants to anymore. Yeah, he's just like, alright, and now we stop this. Okay. I never wanted this third base anyway. All that effort. Alright. He goes back to mine in his natural base here. And we have a Spire on the way as we are waiting to see how much gas Dark will be able to save up. We have Banshees on the way as well. That's going to be a rough one for Cure here. With the lay attack already done, should have quick access, of course, to those Overseers. And Mutalisk, they are pretty darn nice against the Banshees overall. Doesn't mean necessarily, though, that they won't do any damage. For certain, they'll get a couple of drone kills, right? Unless if they like stroll into the Mutalisk on the way. He just cancelled it entirely, didn't he? Yeah, he did. Okay, well, never mind. Never mind all of that. He's just going for more straight up plays. We went for the 2 engineering base. I think he's... Did he scan? Interesting. Did the Viking fly over the third base? Is that something I didn't see? It definitely looks like he kind of figured out what was happening here for Dark. Liking the creep spread from Dark, but at the same time, Cure being pretty darn nice with his creep denial as well. All the Overlords need to get to safety. One more mate fall here, actually. The Queen's hurrying up towards that bad boy. Oh, it is gonna go down at the cost of the Viking, but still, very nice stuff here. Good amount of drones ready for the picking as well from those Stallions, though. This is kind of the downside of going the quicker Mutalisk. Of course, it takes a while before you really have something going for yourself. The Queens are pretty good, but that Viking in the main base, definitely kind of a little bit of an overextension there from the Queen, sending that many. Overreaction. Is that a word? Overreaction? I feel like it should be. He overreacted, but is there a thing as an overreaction? I'm not completely certain. Anyway, that's a lot of drone kills. That is how many right now? 16 drone kills being dealt there. Oh boy, Rick. Anyway, Mutalisk now looking to do the same across the map here, but of course, a lot of time has been wasted chasing down those Hellions. A lot of scouting has been achieved with those Hellions as well. And we have missile turrets, we have small groups of Marines every which way they may need to run. And yeah, it's going to be very rough for Dark here to really get a lot of stuff done with these Mutalisk. It's going up to a preposterous amount though, 14 already, 5 more on the way or something like that. Okay, no, 4. So 17 Mutalisk. How many more will he be making? I have no idea. Armory already on the way as well though, so we should be able to get a couple of Thors out as soon as that is finished up as well. So time is ticking here for Dark. Let's get that refinery, so that's always a good thing. Starting to get to the scary amount of Mutalisk numbers here. Maybe able to trade out against those smaller clumps of Marines. So now we are seeing Cure stacking up all those Marines together here. Oh, yeah, that's still too many. The top side over here, he may be able to pick those off, but I mean, he's still going to lose some Mutalisk there, and he doesn't want to right now. He still is trying to get more and more of them to really snowball this amount of Mutalisk. So shot down the watchtower, nice. Nice attempt there from Cure, but it's kind of neat though, isn't it? How he's like, he's taking control of the watchtower, but it's not like he sends this entire clump of units on this watchtower. He wants to be closer to his main base as well, in case he does need to retreat, or in case he does need to move over here to defend against those Mutalisk. Very cool, tiny little things there for Cure. Ooh, Nelly. Right, yeah, these Mutalisk just not catching a break whatsoever. And we're even seeing sensor towers now being made by Cure in order to keep further track on these Mutalisk. Wants to keep an entire eye out for absolutely every which way they could come from. Because the main base there was a little bit open, so already sending some Marinas over there. Just in case. Just in case. Yeah, still not enough Mutalisk really to fight a Marine army like that. Just head on without taking enormous amounts of losses there. Even if you do clean it up, most likely you won't trade efficiently. Alright. And now this becomes the moment where the rubber meets the road. The Mutalisk clump never really did that much, so the army of Cure is still absolutely massive right now. And instead of trying to just fight that army head on, we're seeing the Zerglings and the Mutalisk just running across the fields here, trying to get a counter attack going, but there's just too much there as well. The Banelings actually, what happened with those? Why would they try to come in there all by themselves? That may have been a little bit of a miss-micro there from Dark. Being pulled in by a couple of Marines and then being shut down immediately. Oh my dear Lord, that is so much reinforcements. It's very important that Dark does keep this in the home base of Cure though. Cannot afford to let these two groups meet up in the middle here. That would be incredibly difficult for him to clean up. And now that they do, alright, so he will just send once more all these forces towards the top side. Finds a small amount of Marines that did get lost in the woods though. Picks those off. But yeah, this attack from Cure here is still very, very scary. We're seeing Banelings being messed up. And once again, the overall reinforcing units here for Cure stacked up into the natural and third base. We'll be able to safeguard this. Oh my god, Dark, what was that? What was that, Dark? Trying to come in through a little choke points here with all of his Banelings and all of his Marines without the Mutalisk there. I'm very surprised that he tried to do an engagement like that. definitely didn't seem optimal to me, but I mean, if it worked, that would have been absolutely amazing, right? Doing damage while also cleaning up the big attack coming in. Okay, more banelings have been made, though. This time around, he does come in with 2 angles. Oh, those are massive baneling hits on the top side there. Sure, definitely not expecting the banelings from the top side, but yeah, just taking trades that were absolutely abysmal a couple of times on the bottom side. Really showcasing that the importance of not taking bad trades before you actually commit to a big engagement in this game. And Cure taking the victory off of the back of that. Very well played. Also, of course, yeah, the 2-base Mutalisk. Never really being able to do any damage either with the Mutalisk. That is a good point. That's unfortunate for Dark, but well played there by Cure. You know what? Showcasing that sometimes you can win games, or at least start winning games, by just making use of one single SCV. And, you know what? I think that was a wonderful kind of overall showing of how to make something like that happen, right? And, yeah. If Boy Fantasy was the Terran, he would die and say nothing because of frustration. And why about Mutus being OP? I think that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. I mean, that defense of Cure there was pretty darn impressive overall, right? Keeping that watchtower in check, making the sensor tower on the top side as well. Having a perfectly spread out bunch of marines everywhere. The missile turrets up in time. Very nice indeed. Another thing to note, actually, he kept making those siege tanks, right? He never went into Widow Mines. He never really went into Thors. He just made more siege tanks, and that really paid its overall. That really paid its toll overall in the pushing power that came across the map there. And yeah, I'm just impressed overall that he managed to keep going with those siege tanks, you know, the production of it, and then I guess that as well was the reason why those little baneling encounters on the bottom side of the map really didn't pay off there for Dark whatsoever, because of the higher amount of siege tanks. Mutalisk never were in a position either to try and snipe those down, but then again, I mean, Cure continuously in a position on pretty much all the sides to defend against Mutus everywhere. So I don't know how you do it, but apparently Cure just had marines everywhere, and that's just beautiful. That's just beautiful, you know? It kind of reminds me of the overall, you know, here I go about history again, but the Mongol army, right? When they did make their appearance in the European scene, on the Eastern European lines, it was just a small scouting force. But the people at the time continuously overestimated the enormous, well, the numbers of the Mongol horde, because they thought, well, they were over here, now they're over there, now they're over here, and like this must be different armies continuously poking in and poking out everywhere. But you know, it was just the same force that moved at the same time, with the same speed as a horse, right? They had an entire army moving with the same speed as a horse. This is stuff happening, by the way. 2 proxy barracks just got scouted. Anyway, the those marines just continuously being in the exact right position, Cure keeping tabs on what was happening with the Mutalisk movements and being able to then prevent any damage from being taken, and kind of making me think like, oh wow, this is just a ton of marines being absolutely everywhere, when in fact it was just the same marines showing up on all those locations. Very well done there. Oh boy, this is gonna get tight. Oh, just the RNG just barely being able to squeeze that through. So these drones here, unfortunately, not being able to deny one of these barracks, and will have to go home disappointed in themselves, and hopefully not get disowned by their family. Alright, anyway, in the top right side, Blue Zerg, Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Dark. Just a little bit below him, there he is, the Dragon Phoenix Gaming Terran in the red. Sure. Lovely stuff. I don't know why that is still important at this moment in time. It just feels like, you know, a little bit of an emptiness inside of me after I don't do the introductions. It's one of the small things I need to do in this casting gig stuff, so might as well do it, right? Okay, here we go. Marines ready to poke at some drones and hatchery buildings over here, but you know what, that surround is looking pretty darn good so far. Ooh, just barely squeezing himself out of there. Nicely making use of the terrain here. Oh, mineral fields really showcasing their power, but ultimately those links are just too numerous to really let anything happen here. Dark with a wonderful hold will be able to force this two Rex to move backwards as well with their heads held low, and hopefully they won't get disowned by their other Terran brother buildings. All right. The Mongols are just really good. If they just unite and stayed in power, then we would have a Mongolian continent. Well, to be fair, honestly, what really beat them was just the overall culture and of China, in a sense, right? The luxury of China. After they conquered it, they pretty much became a Chinese family. They actually are a official royal Chinese family. The grandchildren of Genghis Khan. Temujin. As you know, us really big Mongolian war period fans call him Temujin. Just a little bit of a nerd flexing there, you know. On my part, you're welcome. You're welcome. But yeah, so in this game overall, guys, let's take a little bit of a tally of the status where we're at right now. Dark, looking in a tremendous position overall, right? He's not in like so far ahead that, you know, nothing can beat him anymore. Definitely, you know, there's always a possibility of just a couple of Hellions coming in. Cleaning up a ton of drones somewhere where he just barely wasn't ready. That's always the nature of StarCraft 2. But so far looking pretty darn fantastic. Having that third base going up, being ahead with almost... is that 20, 26, 20? No, I'm kidding. It's 14 workers. It's a 14 workers difference here. Right. I like this as well. The Viking coming in on the left side here, trying to clean up any Overlord spotting for drops, and then allowing the medevac to come in here. But you know what? Dark already ready for this as well. Has those links here, and has the creep spread this way through as well. So a lot easier for the links to deal with this, and a lot easier for him to spot overall what is happening here. Now checking this right side as well. Still looking for more of those Overlords. Dark immediately throws down a Spore Crawler. I wonder if you thought for a second, oh, that could be a Liberator. That could be a Liberator. It's not though, we did have the Starport flying over instead. Not really producing for a little bit here, but should be okay. Should be okay. No third base yet for Cure, which is something you see very often, right, from Terrans. Whenever that kind of initial push fails, if they do proxy, they just go up to 3 command centers very quickly to try and catch up that way. Not happening here so far. That's a lot of queens. That's right, just pick everything up, including the Viking. Moves out of there. Wait, oh, there is a quick third base. Okay, so I'm just crazy. My bad. I'm sorry, guys. I wasn't paying attention to that. Okay, so there is the quick third base. So everything is normal again in the world of StarCraft 2. And he's still going across the map here as well. That is a brave thing to be doing right now. I hope he will not come to regret this, as there's a ton of links right here ready to just jump on top of this immediately. And here it is. Those siege tanks don't stand a chance. The Marines still do alright. with the stutter step micro, but yeah, there's just so much Zerg right now. And this could be trouble for this third base. I mean, it's completely left open. Nothing was here left for Cure. He really put everything he had into the offensive here. And now he is going to get punished, right? He could have gone out with just a small patch of Marines with the ability to pick up again with the medevac, keep the siege tanks at home, and kind of not allow Dark to immediately counterattack and force that third base to lift. Keep that SCV production going, and keep that mining on the third base going as well. Of course, very important to do. But you know what? Looks like it didn't go too far here for Dark into his favor, so he did move backwards. Won't be the playground bully that he could have been in this position. Of course, he didn't know exactly the amount of numbers or siege tanks and stuff like this that were still available for Cure. Bit unfortunate for Cure there, as we saw him trying to get in between the two rocks there. Alright. Going back home. Going back home. Once more, the Spire on the way here for Dark. It's almost like we're seeing DRG play here, actually, today. Although a lot of Zergs do like to use the Mutalistic, of course, the Spire. Makes it a lot easier to defend against the overall medevacs. The Lurker style really not has been taken up that much yet in Korea, I would say. Still definitely feels a little bit like of an Italian thing, which is a funny thing to say, but ultimately true. What's the upgrades like? Alright, so actually we're kind of steamrolling ahead here in the tech for Dark. He's just got a good amount of links, a good amount of banelings set up, and now he's going to be able to very comfortably set up shop on the overall technology tree, right? Oh, that is big as well, actually. Okay, no. Never mind. Doesn't commit again. Probably the best choice. Not committing onto 3 siege tanks that were just lined up waiting for him to commit. Especially with the +2/+2 also coming in right now. Right, might as well wait for that to finish up if you do want to try to commit here. You might as well just try to get max as well, right? There's not a real reason for him to push in here. He's just expanding, spreading that creep, denying any form of aggression from Cure, and he's in a lovely position. Where is his infestation pits? I think that's the one thing that I'm still missing here. I'm wondering if he's just thinking about skipping the entire infestation pits here, just never go up to Hive, and just kill off Cure before he can get a 4th base, right? Which tournaments? This is not a tournament, actually. This is just a show match series, the best of 9 between Cure and Dark. Here we go. Alright, all those paintings coming in. A lot of Zerglings as well, and it looks like that will be the end of the Cure here. Dark has been able to just get enough stuff on the boards here, and GG is called. Very well played indeed. Keeping everything up. Alright, so that means we're going to have a little bit of a break here. That gives us an opportunity to kind of talk about the Matcherinos, of course. I think it's only like a 2 or 3 minute break, so don't worry about that. But anyway, yeah, we have a Matcherino page. Definitely go check that out and fill in those codes. Buy yourself a replay pack if that is what you fancy. And of course, there's another thing available there. There's a lot of quests available overall. Go check it out. It would be greatly appreciated. And other than that, yeah, let me take a moment here, guys, and show you guys one of our sponsors. We would not be here without the sponsors, so go say hi to Rushy, and I'll be right back. I'll be right back, and we'll be back with more games. Thank you, Sugar. Thank you for the linking there. So the link for the Matcherino is in the chat right now. There you go. There's no bots just yet for Trovo for us, so that's a difficulty. Anyway, be right back.
My name is Rushy, and thanks for watching our StarCraft 2 content brought to you by ITaX. Productions like this are made possible by support from our sponsors, like G Fuel. G Fuel is the official drink of esports, and they want to encourage you to kick the can on other energy drinks that leave you drained out and out of juice when you need to make the big calls. Their dedication to keeping you fueled and in the game is only matched by their drive to support esports and the people who help make it possible. With over 20 unique flavors like bubblegum to choose from, they'll always deliver a great experience with each drink. Head out to our Matcherino page and check out their sponsor quests for more info on how to get your hands on G Fuel's clean and healthy alternative to sugar-loaded energy drinks. G Fuel, the official drink of esports. Thanks for supporting ITaX, and thank you for considering checking out our awesome sponsors. Now, let's head back to the action.
I just wanted to show my colossal brick of bag of peanuts right here. I probably shouldn't eat this all alone. Can you have an overdose on peanuts? It's a lot of nuts. That's right. That is a lot of nuts. It's a crazy amount of nuts. Look at this thing. It's massive. I saw it in the store and I thought, I'm gonna get myself a lot of nuts. That's a lot of nuts. Alright, anyway, let's do one more commercial and then we should be good to get the next game started, alright? 1 second, guys.
My name is Rushy, and this is a 1-minute tutorial on how to create your own Matcherino quests for your online events. Let's get started. Go to Matcherino.com and click the sign in button in the top right. You'll need to link an account to begin. I use my Twitch account because it's the most convenient for me, but you can choose which one works best for you. Once you log in, click your username in the top right and select Profile. Along the left side will be a place to select Sponsor Quests, and you've arrived. Click the Add button and give this quest a clear title and a sleek image. Your quest can be attached to all games, but one option to better reach your audience is to limit your quest to games that fit your specific community. You can also target specific audiences by whitelisting specific countries, or by blacklisting specific countries so they can't see your quests. You can also set specific actions that your quests require, such as website clicks or Twitter follow. Doing all of this will get you great looking buttons that your fans can interact with on your Matcherino pages. Use the Analytics tab to see how your quests are doing and what works best for your community. Every click counts. I hope this video helped you start your Matcherino quest. Thanks for supporting Matcherino. Now, let's get back to the action.
I just showered myself with with nuts. Alright, let me put that away just for a second. There we go. Ah, oh, what a beaut. What a beaut. Okay, we're still in a little bit of a break. What do you guys want to talk about? More StarCraft 2? Any players that are your favorite players right now? That are hopefully playing as well? I've always loved watching Dark play, man. He's an inspiring character, you know? He's a real tough guy, overall. And I don't know, I just always like his overall, it almost feels like he's improvising in the game, you know what I mean? He just has such a strong grasp of overall what he needs to be doing at what time in order to gain the upper hand in any scenario, right? He always seems to be in those situations like, alright, these are all the pathways I can take. I've done this one this amount of times, this one this amount of times, this one this amount of times, etc. And I don't even know how many pathways he knows about. Probably a lot more than I do. And he's just continuously adjusting. He's continuously like some sort of a calculating machine, being like, all right, well, this is the percentage of victory this way. This is the percentage of victory this way. It's pretty darn nuts. It feels like what's that guy called? The doc. Is it? No, it's not the doctor. It's the guy from Marvel, right? The Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange. That's him. He has like the time stone or something, and then he goes by all the timelines, and then he's like, alright, well, in this timeline, we have the most percentage chance of it being a good thing. And overall, right, the outcome for a positive is the highest with this. And it's kind of dark right now. He's like Dr. Dark. Dr. Dark, we're gonna call him. Dark Strange? This doesn't sound as good. Dr. Dark! Surgically finding himself the best way to victory. Apparently taking a little bit of a break himself as well here. By the way, does anybody know why they made the Battlecruiser background the promotional screen? Right? It doesn't really promote anything right now. You have the little box on the... For here, it would be for you guys. Where it says like 10-year anniversary for StarCraft 2. It's a lot of years, but... I mean, the Battlecruiser shouldn't really be a promotional screen, right? Am I crazy? It is the first screen we had, right? In StarCraft 2 overall. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Remember the old interface? Sometimes I go back to watching like some StarCraft player or like day 9 stuff from that day, you know, and then... Man, oh man. That was pretty nuts. That looked pretty darn crazy to me. Alright, anyway. Enough about that. Enough about that. Let's just continue onwards with the overall game here. The best of 9 series is happening after all. Let's get the scoreboard up and running. And we'll introduce the players in the bottom right side. There is a red Terran player fighting for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. He is Cure. Top left side, there he is, a blue Zerg fighting for the Dragon Phoenix Gaming as well. He is Dark. The self-proclaimed GOAT of StarCraft 2. You know what? Probably some people would call him that as well. Honestly, it's a rough one to do, though, isn't it? It really is. Maybe at some point, a little while ago, a couple of months back. Now, there's just so much good StarCraft 2 talent out there. So incredible, incredible amounts of many much. I don't know. He's doing a spawning pool first, by the way. Just a heads up. Just a little bit of a heads up. I guess this is one of the more favorable maps for Terran over here, so makes sense that Dark doesn't want to play a big macro game on this one, right? It's gonna be very tight quarters, small push distances here for the Terran as well, so just a rough time for a Zerg overall, especially if you like to go the Mutalisk route. Not that much dead space overall to kind of work with, I would say. A lot of ease of access. This almost feels like one of those board games. I don't know what it is. It Settlers of Catan? Anyway, like you almost have like these grid layouts where it's like, all right, you can go here, 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 and then there's another grid over here with a choke, grid over here, choke points, choke points, choke points, choke point, choke point, choke. Am I crazy? Or isn't that the kind of the case here? Like there's just continuous choke points everywhere. Just make it feel a little bit like a board game to me. Anyway, a good map to if you ever make an interpretation of StarCraft 2, the board game, this is probably a good map to start on. Just in case somebody in the chat right now is working on a StarCraft 2 board game or is planning to. Right, so Dark so far not really going for any kind of circling aggression. It's going to just go straight into those roaches and the Ravagers. Does get scouted by Cure. Let's see what kind of reaction he will be pulling. He's going for a Cyclone. An absolute wonderful response after all. A lot of value can be gained from that bad boy right there. Overlord already in position. This could be big if that does go down here, of course. There's already a reasonable amount of Marines here. I would love to see the Cyclone go on this side. Try to get the lock onto the Overlords here. That would be absolutely massive. Just put it right here. Turn off auto lock. Okay, we'll just put it there. You know what? You're quicker than I am. And there you go. Locking onto that Overlord. Ooh. Boop, boop, boop. It's gonna get close. It's gonna get real close. There it is. Gonna go down. But was it already too much though for Dark here? Blowing up those supply depots. Being on top of the ramp now. Behind this, he's just droning up, by the way, guys. So losing that Overlord, really slowing this down though. He also got supply blocks because of this now. So not only making it more difficult for the Roaches and the Ravagers to hold this choke point here with the Biles and of the Swords, but also supply blocking him. So catching that Overlord there is an absolute enormous thing there for Cure. And basically stops the entire momentum that Dark was building up there. Throws it back into Cure's favor. Is he gonna... Wait, aha! It's like, you know what? If I drop 2 Marines, I might be able to fill this up entirely. And then we'll take the Cyclone with us. It's gonna be great. Fantastic. A lot of cost efficiency in the overall amount of stuff you can put into a medevac, space efficiency as they would call it. Okay, it looks like there will be a follow-up attack here though for Dark. A lot of Ravagers again with these links now available, and there's not that much stuff for Cure on the other side as he is pushing across the map here with that medevac, actually helping out Dark a little bit here. Ooh, just barely squeezing on by with that Banshee that doesn't get biled. Oh, those links get a lovely surround though. That's going to be a lot of dead SCVs right now. The Banshee trying its best to clean up these forces, but it's just too much. And this is the problem when you don't go any Hellions. Zerglings just become so incredibly cost efficient against anything else in low numbers. And this is a problem, guys. This is something we can't really sugarcoat. This is definitely a problem. It does get cleaned up, but of course, so many works did fall down, and we've already seen Dark in the previous game as well, right? Although that was because he held off a 2 Rex. This time around, he's going for the 2 Rex equivalents, I would say, for a Zerg. Gets a boatload of damage, and once more finds himself in a wonderful position here where he can just do whatever the hell he wants to, right? Just don't make too many mistakes. That's all he needs to do. He can't go AFK. That's another thing he can't do. Other than that, though, looking pretty darn fine. Nice pulling there of those drones. I'm not even sure if he realized that there are drones there. Just keeping them out of vision there. Okay, now he should see. Is this starting to stack up, though? Yeah, there we go. There's the Queens. There's the Queens. Forcing out quite a bit of micro here for Mr. Dark. Trying to keep things safe. He has 5 Queens here, though, so should be okay. Oh, I'm liking these Evo chambers here as well. Making it more difficult for any type of Hellion run-by to occur. +1/+1 now on the way. First and foremost for Cure here, so that's a little bit of a surprise actually that Cure will be having the upgrade advantage. I'm not quite sure for how long just yet, but with the amount of overall advantage that was obtained there by Dark, I would not have expected that. 7 workers still go down to the Banshee, so that's actually still quite worthwhile. If only he wasn't already behind with about 20 workers, then you know what, that would have been quite a nice little moment there for Cure. So I have a couple of Queens in the main base probably here before he tries to clean this up. Just in case that Medevac does try to go for the... I don't even know if he knows about this. Yeah, he doesn't know about this. Sometimes it's a curse being able to see everything as a caster. You're just like, oh, well, he could go here. But then again, this happened... Oh my dear lord. I was just about to say something. I was just about to praise these players, and then Dark kills off his own Ravager. But I wanted to say, like, that kind of shows that overall finesse and skill of these players, that they do give the idea, the illusion, that they are just capable of seeing the same things that I'm seeing, right? It's like they know that this is happening in the game. They have this gut feeling what's about to happen, and they are already prepping for it before it's actually in their own visible range. And very often they are correct, and it's just kind of showcasing the skill here available and the skill on display from these two absolute mad lads. I mean, Cure definitely doing a wonderful job here. Overall, getting things going for him into his own direction again, right? He's got his 3 bases up now. He's doing a pretty good job with the overall harassment. He hasn't killed as many workers just quite yet, but he's keeping the drone count low just by forcing out a lot of units here from Dark. And he's keeping the creep back as well. Look at this. Again, there's almost no creep here for Dark. Especially on the bottom and the top side, and those are the best places to deny creep. You can do the creep on the middle as well, I suppose, right? That would make it perfect creep denial if that just was no creep. But if you are ever in a position where you need to decide where you're going to deny the creep, the 2 edges of the bases of the Zerg is probably the best way to do so, because of a couple of reasons I might go into if this fight doesn't start here very quickly. Oh, Siegechang's getting a couple of shots. Alright, so first and foremost, it becomes more difficult for the queens to re-spread that creep, right? You can't... I guess you can have creep spreading queens on both those sides, but usually they are on the same hotkey, and it becomes a little bit more difficult to kind of organize that. You can't just shift-click. Oh, wait, hold up, guys. There's a big attack coming in here. The Ravagers need to land their biles on the siege tanks, and 2 of them do get picked off there, so nice job there. Gets the heck out of dodge again as soon as that happens. This is a scary moment in time, though. Dark still on those roaches and the Ravagers. They don't do that well against the bio forces, especially when the upgrades are equal, and are going to be even out of their favor pretty darn soon here. Did either of those players saw what happened there? I don't know exactly. Anyway, Zerglings coming in here into the mineral field of the 3rd base to clean up quite a reasonable amount of... only five workers there. Could be better, could be worse, but puts Dark once again ahead in the overall worker count. Which I don't think he's really worried about too much anymore. Really working with a small amount of workers. Just trying to get a massive army here. Trying to get ready for the late game. Going up to the Spire, or the Greater Spire. And going up to some other stuff. Alright, so another reason to clean up the, the 2 edges of the creep is, of course, because it becomes easier for you to try and arrest, right? Push from one side and push from the other side. There's so much distance. There's the most amount of distance for the Zerg army to travel, making it the most difficult to defend both places. Those biles, though, cleaning up 2 medevacs and cleaning up a siege tank. That's always nice. A very good pick off there. Coming in again here with a bit of counter-aggression. But, yeah, the tininess of this map making it difficult. I suppose that does make it a good map for Broodlords as well, though. Denying the +2 armor. That's a very big deal here, actually. That means that Cure will be able to do a boatload of damage, especially against roaches and stuff like that. You kind of rely on the armor upgrades here. Right, there we go. Oh, Nelly. Oh, Nelly. Okay, Broodlords finally coming in here. We don't have Infestors or any type of... anything else really to force the engagement right now, but the Broodlords may be able to force the engagements on their own by moving across here towards this base. Cure, is he going towards the top? Okay, wow, that would be pretty darn sick actually. For a moment I thought he was just going to spread off some units to move through the top here. Actually is. He's just standing here. He's trying to buy as much time as possible. Pushing on the bottom left side as well. Just doesn't want to fight these Broodlords and doing a wonderful job so far. Kind of denying the capabilities of the Broodlords offensively. And that is the full Medivacs now. Going into the main base, there's a couple of Corruptors, a good amount of Roaches as well. They will be here in time, just barely though. They got really close. Needs to target down that other siege tank. Oh boy. There's another attack coming in here for Cure. Cure really bringing a lot of stuff now right now to the table. Those Broodlords, yeah, they are very powerful, but I mean, if you never get into a position where you are capable of taking a fight, that is a problem. That's a big problem. Okay, he does clean both these attacks up, but at the same time, he lost the base here. And another worker. Another worker died, guys. One more. Can you believe it? Alright, moving on through. And now, with that little bit of time bought, Kjør does have himself a couple of Thors, a couple of Vikings. I'm not sure if it will be enough here, though, as this is still a great amount of Broodlords. There's a good amount of Corruptors as well. More than plenty to keep those Vikings back. And this may still be an absolute devastating counterattack here. That more and more Thors trying to get themselves into the battlefield right now. Oh my dear lord, those biles absolutely devastating. In we go. Dark comes in for a final blow, it looks like. And I'm not sure if this will be enough for Kjør to keep himself alive. Although the bile actually almost getting underneath the Broodlords. It will not be enough here. And GG is called. Kjør doing some nice maneuvers there, but unfortunately not buying himself enough time.
Thanks for watching one StarCraft tutorial on how to create your own Matcherino quest for your online events.
Oh no, he's doing two. He's doing two at the same time. That guy is a hard worker, isn't he? Jeez Louise. Absolute crazy hard worker. Oh. I mean, to be fair, that game started off with Kjør losing, what, 15, 16 workers? That was rough. That was incredibly rough. Dark riding that one out through the end game. I like that the two attacks from Kjør. You know what? Just being like, alright, let me just try to buy time here. That's all I need. Very well done overall. I think he could have controlled it a little bit better. Right, that drop into the main base versus Dark. Very quickly got surrounded there. Started trading out pretty favorably overall, but he wasn't trying to get a favorable trade. He was trying to buy time, right? And just picking up and trying to go elsewhere perhaps would have been to his benefit. Now, he didn't know, of course, to his, you know what, trying to come to his side here a little bit. He had no idea where the Broodlords were coming. He didn't know if there were Corruptors coming in as well. So maybe just picking up in those situations would have even allowed Dark to clean that up even sooner. But yeah, that's kind of the name of the game, isn't it? When is Protoss playing? I mean, defaced. Are you really asking for Protoss right now when we have Kjør and Dark duking it out in a best of 9? Oh, my sweet little Jugi. My sweet Protoss child. Anyway, in the top right side we have the red Terran player fighting for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. He is Kjør. Bottom left side there is a blue Zerg. Also fighting for the Dragon Phoenix. And the gaming, he is Dark. He's fighting for the Dragon Phoenix. And he's also gaming. Defending the honor of the gaming Phoenix Dragon. That would have been cooler, right? A Dragon Phoenix that is actually gaming. So a gaming Dragon Phoenix. That would be cool. That would be so cool, guys. Oh my god. But yeah. Unfortunately, we're stuck with a Dragon Phoenix that is just, you know, I don't know. He might still be gaming, actually. Or it's something playing as if it were a Dragon Phoenix, right? Dragon Phoenix gaming. Sorry. A little bit of the shell of the nut went into the good old air pipe, and I didn't appreciate it. I can understand. Right, Kyo a little bit up against the ropes here, of course. Needs to get himself another victory on the board here. Things may get a little bit too dicey in order to really say that this is still winnable for him, right? Being 2 games behind in the best of 9, still winnable. Still definitely winnable. He needs to win 4 games though, and Dark only needs to win 2. But that is doable. Overall, I mean, if somebody can do it, I wouldn't be surprised if Kyo does it. Yeah, if Kyo does it. Wait, did we have another spawning pool first thing? Am I going crazy? He's keeping his Reaper on this side of the map here. I might be crazy. Crazy they call me. I mean, we're not having a 3rd base just quite yet, so this actually could have been a spawning pool first. Or maybe I am going crazy, who knows. Probably not, right? Probably not. Getting a bit of a scout going over here as well. Sees the timing of that starport. Nothing too out of the ordinary though. Aliens and Stim probably gonna get started in the production queue here. Ooh, nice bit of micro. Reaper fighting. Reaper also a little bit of a Phoenix, right? You think about it. A bit like a Phoenix, because he... As long as he doesn't die, though, he will be reborn. He will be born anew. All on his own. So he's a little bit of like a broken Phoenix, right? Lost his ultimate trump cards. Is that like a backward Phoenix? Would that be a thing? What would be a backwards Phoenix? Interesting. You would die after you get born? I guess we're all opposite Phoenix then. That's pretty cool. Made a new discovery. We're all opposite Phoenix. Third base. Yeah, for Kyo, getting himself the extra barracks as well. And trying to do a little dance around the creep area. There we go. Bye bye Creepalooza. Liberator harassments should be dealt with relatively nicely. Spore crawler, yeah, might just... Okay, yeah, that's gonna finish up in time. Thought for a moment he may be able to squeeze on by here. Oh, he might still. There we go. That is very nice. Only one shot going off right there. So still very powerful, this Liberator here. Especially in combination with these Hellions on the left side, providing this pressure, of course. Can't send too many Queens to deal with this. And then the Liberator being able to jump back and forth between these two places. Making it very nice. Oh my god, you're joking. He can't even shoot this without the Queen getting shot as well. Queen range, man. Queen range actually in action here. Oh, 2 queens go down. That is all because of, oh my dear lord. 2 queens and 2 drones. That is very nice. queen range in action. Actually, a lot of times people kind of joke about it, but that was actually the one extra range, causing Dark to lose those 2 queens there. Probably wouldn't have lost even one single queen with the extra range. Cure coming in. That's a lot of stuff. That's a good position as well. Circling's on the backside, but looks like Cure is still in a pretty reasonable position to move backwards here. And oh my god, look at the cost efficiency that is being acquired by those Marines right now, stimming forwards, chasing down the queens. That's right, you're not going to expand here. Cleans up the creep once more. And again, we're seeing the overall usefulness of denying this creep in a certain location and then just being able to push in here. Oh dear lord, that base is getting so incredibly low. Cure moving backwards, doesn't want to quite invest everything. Doesn't want to lose his stuff in order to kill one single basis. Gonna try to find some more value elsewhere, but I wonder if he could have gotten it. He may still get it though later on at some point. More units coming in from the top right here of that base will be joining up forces, and suddenly it kind of feels like the Terran is the Zerg player here, already setting up a surround before the game. Okay, no, we'll group everything up together. The world has returned to sanity here. And now there's even less creep available for Dark. This is a very, very difficult situation for him. Trying to set up another flank or maybe just a counterattack. Actually, that counterattack definitely looks like it will be able to get quite a bit of damage done. And it will need to as well. If he wants to ever recover from this absolute financial disaster, losing that 4th base. Not being able to mine from here either. Investing a lot of money into Zerglings as well instead of drones. Alright. This is... How many queens is this? Oh dear lord. Baneling's dying to siege tanks left, right and center. Lovely targeting happening continuously. And I think this may be it here, guys. We have those queens dying off as well. GG is called. Cure takes another game in his name. Makes the series 2-3 and 1 point away of tying it up again. And you know what? Making it all to play for just a little bit more so. Once more. Cure here. It's always nice. It's always nice to see things getting a little bit closer up in the series. That's what's Cure's bringing for us. Why would Dark build a lot of queens? It could be. It could be that he was expecting BC. I'm not completely sure. That was an extreme amount of queens, wasn't it? That was a crazy amount of queens. I'm not quite sure what the idea was with that amount. Maybe he thought, like, I'll just be able to tank damage with this. Or I'm gonna at least have creep spread this way if I just have more queens. Didn't quite turn out that way, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, queens are good units. They're a strong little girl, right? I wonder if he was expecting BC. So I suppose what he saw was the Hellions, right? He saw starports being built as well, pretty close to a tech lab. But then to take that information and say, like, alright, this is going to be BC, let me make a ton of queens. I don't know. Maybe it was because, like, the weirder thing as well is that he lost those 2 queens initially in the start as well, and he still had that amount of queens. So that would mean... would have even more queens. Maybe he just wanted to have queens in all the bases to set up against Liberators and drops or something like that. I don't even know exactly, but... Anyway, we're going into game number 6 in this Best of 9 series, and hopefully, if we're lucky, we're going to be able to keep this ball rolling for a little bit longer. with these two players right here. Absolutely giving us some wonderful games right now. In the bottom right side, there he is, the red determined player fighting for the Dragon Phoenix. That is actually gaming. He is Cure. And top left side, there he is, the blue Zerg. Showcasing some wonderful tenacity overall throughout this series so far. He is none other than Dragon Phoenix Gaming. He is Dark. We didn't see that amount of crazy, well, not that crazy amount of queens in the other games, did we? Definitely was a little bit of a unique moment in time there for Dark. Gotta wonder though if he will try to do something like the Roach aggression once more here in this best of 9. Kurt probably will start to prep for it a little bit more heavily though, of course. Huh. I wonder why Dark puts these two waypoints in different locations. Is that already for the, in case the Reaper comes in? Possibly. Guess you don't know on which side the Reaper will come in. So if you make one batch of links on both these things, then it'll be good on both sides, and then the links from the other place can move over or something like that. Interesting. Small, tiny things that it's kind of, you know what, make you wonder how deep can somebody take this game? How far can they bring the overall planning out of StarCraft 2? Up until a moment in time where people say like, alright, this is too much planning that we've done. We will not be able to keep this up anymore. That Overlord's dead. That's a little bit unfortunate, right? No Reaper will just go straight into those two Marines, and that's absolutely lovely. Being able to pick up that first initial Overlord, and that's actually a really smart thing to do on this map. As the first little bit of high grounds where you can put that Overlord on top of is so far removed from the actual natural base here. And, you know what, I don't know why the map maker of this map hates Zerg players, but it's quite obvious. It is quite obvious, and it's a nice little thing though that that Cure picked up on, and we'll be able to pick up that first initial Overlord. Even looking around for the second Overlord that didn't fly across the map though. Usually you do have them go across on the right side over here, of course, to set up shop on the top side of the main base of Cure in order to get that scout off at a later point in time. But yeah, not going to be the case here. So luckily for Dark, we'll not lose a second Overlord. Although already losing that first Overlord, of course, never a good thing. Really slows you down quite a bit here. It's 100 minerals and a larvae as well, of course, that you're not investing into more drones. And economic growth is exponential. Not only in real life, but also in StarCraft 2. The more money you have, the more likely it will be that you're just going to earn more money. In a sense. Because you have more money to invest, more money to do things with. And overall, a snowballing situation. A very quick armory here actually on the way for Cure. Could this be some sort of a Hellbat push? Honestly, it very well may. We're seeing a lot of Marines being created though as well at the same time. So it's going across the field right now with the stimmed Marines right now. 2 medevacs almost filled up. Just missing 2 Marines overall. And then perhaps it will be a Hellbat follow-up. Is that what we're seeing here? It very well could be. I struggle to think of what else it could be. Maybe just he's prepping for Widow Mines, but he's still making Hellions right now. Interesting. There is Roach Ravager already available though for Dark, so that should do well against the Halberd push overall, unless if he over drones, of course, that's always a possibility. But yeah, no third base yet for Cure here. He's actually pulling the SCVs as well. It's not something you see very often against the Zerg player because of Banelings, right? 2 Banelings and boom go the SCVs, I should say. But alright, in this situation it might work actually. Let's see how this is gonna go. Dark now sees this attack coming in here. He needs to make more units. He does not have enough just quite yet. This creep does make it impossible for the SCVs to put down any type of buildings though, of course. Dark has a good amount of queens as well though. The Biles, let's see, will not be able to get the connections that they were looking for. Oh, that one's pretty good though. A lot of SCVs dying to that one. Oh, but in the middle of these 3 bases right now is Cure finding himself. Will he be able to pick off enough here? It doesn't look like he will. There's just so much Zerg now available. More roaches spilling on through. And Dark finding himself with a absolutely wonderful counter against this. Being able to pick this off, although, you know what, it's not quite there yet. Wonderful targeting happening from Cure. Will be able to pick up a lot of those roaches, a lot of the queens, but yeah, reinforcing more roaches coming up and shuts this down entirely. And that is Dark now in a tremendous position. 53 workers with 3 bases against a 31 SCV playing Terran right now off of the 2 orbital command centers. That's the opposite of where you would like to find yourself as a Terran player, of course, as anybody would tell you. I guess not even as a Terran player. It's not a beneficial position to be in for anything or any race. And yeah, those Hellbats, of course, really not paying their worth because there were just no Zerglings, right? If you're playing against somebody that is going for the more standard, I'm saying the Zergling Baneling composition, I think that would work a lot better, right? Because Hellbats versus Zerglings, that is just disgustingly not unfair, but oh my god, it counters it incredibly hard, right? It's like Immortals versus Roaches, Hellbats versus Zerglings. It is just insanity, and there was just no opportunity for those Hellbats to gain that efficiency because we did have all of those Roaches. So if you were to make Marauders instead of the Hellbats, that would have had a lot of a better chance to work. But yeah, unluckily for Cure, the opposite happens and there were roaches available. Gets rid of a bit of creep here. Very important. Let's see where the queens are. I think all the queens did get picked off, right? So that is actually any creep that is denied right now. Gonna make it a lot more difficult for Dark to replenish the tumors there. So we can see already this is almost half the creep spread towards this right side on the top. Being able to pick that off. Will it matter though? Will it matter though? Cure trying everything in his power to just keep Dark on the defensive here. Having the Hellions and the medevac on the left side, a couple of Marines on the right side. Even sending in 2 more medevacs here to get triple-pronged harassments going. Oh boy, the siege tanks actually not being sieged here is possibly a good thing, because that means he will be able to dodge Biles, but still losing 1 siege tank immediately here. That is a massive attack coming up here for Dark. I wonder what he's planning to do. He sees that there's no third base just quite yet, and maybe that will be enough for him to move backwards here, especially because there's so many Marines now moving in on these 2 bases here. And it looks like they do get thwarted. Oh dear lord. Okay, a lot of the workers do still fall. The top right still is going pretty strong as well. This 4th base, I'm not sure. Yeah, that will fall actually as well. So Cure, with the limited amount of stuff that he does have available right now, making some wonderful maneuvers. But still, of course, they had on fights I don't think will ever go into the favor of Cure here. We'll have to wait and see if he will be able to find somehow a wonderful position somewhere. A bit missing those Biles there, unfortunately. But yeah. Cure, he needs to get something going here very quickly, I would say. Still very far behind on the economy. Extremely far behind, actually, because he still doesn't have that third base. Dark now going for that fourth once more. Remaking that bad boy. And going for the offensive once more as well. The siege tanks are sieged up now, but they are on the low ground here. Realizing he has to unsiege, picks it up immediately. Very well done indeed. Puts them up on the high ground. There's no overlords here, so no. Oh wait, never mind. Never mind. There's the overseer. Oh dear lord, he needs to unsiege those two siege tanks, I would say. They are going to die both at the same time here. Still quite a bit of value being achieved, but there come the bios. Gone are the siege tanks, and there is another attack coming in here for Cure as well on the main base of Dark, but I will say he's gonna have enough reinforcements coming in here to deal with that. Ultimately, it comes down to whether or not Cure is capable of holding his own on this side of the map right here. Another siege tank putting in a lot of efforts, but yeah, GG is called. Just more economic damage being taken here, and Cure has to tap out once again, being behind with 2 games here in this best of 9 series. And Dark on match points. And I already said it before, if you win in a best of 9 5-2, that is still pretty darn dominant, right? I'm not sure if you could call that a close series. And Dark absolutely looking magnificent so far in this best of 9. So I'm a little bit worried overall. Not gonna lie. But we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, let me figure out actually which. Alright, I think this one. We're gonna do a little bit of an interruption here, a little commercial for the Matcherino that we have available, of course, for this event as well. And yeah, we'll be right back.
You can visit the Matcherino page for our event and contribute in many different ways. 1. Free coupon. Click Contribute, enter the specified coupon code to contribute a predetermined amount of money to the prize pool. 2. Free sponsor quests. On the right side of the screen are various actions supported by sponsors, including retweets, Twitter follows, surveys, among other things. Click into these boxes to complete the action and add the attached prize contribution to the pool free of charge. 3. Marketplace. Products are available in our marketplace, which also contribute to the fundraising pool. Be sure to check out the variety of apparel and collectibles, as well as other unique items. 4. Donate. Clicking on the Contribute button, you're able to add funds to your Matcherino wallet and then directly contribute them to the fundraiser page. Thanks for supporting your event with Matcherino.
Oh, hey! What's up? We're back. We're loading up Golden Wall here for you guys. Oh, I suppose more so for the 2 players, but we'll be able to take the real joy out of it, right? We'll have the real pleasure. Unless if Dark wins, he'll probably feel pretty darn good about himself as well. Alright, here we go. Oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This didn't go so swell the previous time. He may just clean up the middle bit, right? Is he gonna clean up the middle bit? No, he's just gonna go across here. It's only 1 SCV so far. We'll have to wait and see where he really brings this this fella. No, there is a second SCV actually on the way now as well. Alright, so in the bottom left side, there's a blue Zerg looking for the victory here on match points. We'll go for a hatchery first. He's the blue Zerg. Dragon Phoenix Gaming's Dark. And 2 Rexing right here. You spawn in the bottom right side. He's a red Terran player. He is fighting for the Dragon Phoenix as well. He is Cure. Oh, once more, Dark will be able to get the scout off here with his Overlord. Once more, Right, Proxy 2 Rex does fall to the ever watchful eye of the Overlords. I'm only sending 3 drones this time around, so I'm liking this from Dark a whole lot better. His drones look very fancy, don't they? Have these little tiny arms with the holes in the arms. That's pretty cool. Oh wait, I said 3 drones, right? Make that 25. Hold up. That's a lot of drones. Complete turnaround on how he handled this the previous time, right? Went for just a lot of links, letting it come closer to him. But you know what? This is seemingly to work out pretty darn well as well. Oh boy. Oh boy. Cure. He went for Reapers now, though. That should be pretty good against this. We'll be able to pick off a couple of those drones right now. A couple of Zerglings need to be created here. Queen's already on the way as well, but that is going to shut this down pretty handily. These Reapers now on the clock want to get as much damage done before they will get zoned out by those Queens and the Zerglings as well to boot, of course. Oh, Dark doesn't want to lose more workers. That's for sure. Making the most of this though with the Reapers right now. Definitely impressive how he's still being able to find some sort of damage right now. There we go. 2 more workers. Not bad. Gonna get another one. Yes, he is. 4 workers. 5 workers. That's 5 workers. 6 workers? Oh my dear lord. Guys, this may just start to snowball into Cure's favor all of a sudden. 7 workers. Just like that. By these Reapers. Yeah, even getting an 8th. Link speed, of course, still not done yet. 9 workers, 10 workers. What is happening here? 12 workers in total still go down here because of Cure's 3 Reaper adjustments. Immediately going... He also has the triple command center going for himself. Alright, well, Dark may feel a little bit pressure to just go for a big offensive here. He's building a Roach Warren off of the 2 base. He's sending a lot of links across the map. He doesn't have speed because he doesn't have any gas available. He's just going across right now. That is absolutely abysmal here for Dark. I had no idea that that was still a possibility to happen. That much damage still could be achieved by those 3 Reapers right there. Oh my dear lord. Now, because of this, Dark suddenly in a completely turnaround situation. His links will not be able to get anything done either because of the full wall of here available for Cure. Will Dark lose this one now after holding off against the Proxy 2 Rex? Well, at least the Marines of the Proxy 2 Rex. In such a fashion. Oh my dear lord, that would be frustrating for him. We're gonna have to wait and see. Roaches now on the way as well. There is the Banshees on the way as well, though. So that should be a wonderful way to keep this from going into Dark's favor now. Does have a lot of stuff on the low grounds. Did get spotted by the Overlords. Hellions on the other side of the map. It's only 2 of them. Getting zoned away by a Queen, so those Roaches unaware so far of Cure that this is happening. He might have a little bit of an inclination though, as there's no 3rd base that he spotted with those Aliens. And there is the Banshee right now, the Salvation coming in right now. The Cavalry. As Cure is taking that 3rd base very, very comfortably. Oh, those Roaches, they do not want to get spotted by the Banshee, and they just barely do not. Okay, nope. Cure moves around. We'll be able to start poking away again, and this needs to do damage. This needs to do damage right here, right now. Still no link speed available, though, and I don't think this is going to be able to get a lot of damage done. Look at the absolute destruction. And Cure taking the game right there after getting scouted, after dotting him, being like, oh man, I can't believe my luck. Well, mates, that was that was all you had to do. Get a couple of Reapers in that position and then being able to just push straight on through. And Cure, once again, only 1 point behind Dark in this best of 9 series, still making it relatively closer than it was before. It's not even relative. It's not relatively closer. It's just closer. Making it closer than it was this game before again here. I did not expect that to still turn into to Cure's favor with those Reapers. That was pretty nuts. That was... How do you get 10 workers when there's 2 queens and a bunch of links? Even if you do have those 3 Reapers, definitely a bit of control mistake that from Dark, allowing something like that to happen. And, yeah. That was just funny. That was just good old StarCraft 2. A quick adjustment and immediately, suddenly, everything spiraling out of control there by Dark. All right. There we go. There we go. Potentially, again, the final game here. We're on Everdream. It is map number 8, isn't it? So, it's kind of funny. We had the entire map pool. Dark now in a position where he will be able to pick his map from the entire map pool. So that on its own, a massive advantage. Being able to just, you know what, out of all the maps that we have available, which one would you like to play on when you're still on match point here? And then, you know what, if you lose this one, you get a second pick. So that on its own already gonna be quite a nice little boost to the overall confidence of Dark here. But, I mean, then again, if you have your own pick, right, you get to choose whatever the hell you want map-wise, and you lose that, that could do the opposite for your mentality, right? That could also then just kind of make you think like, oh, wow. That was my best map, and I lost my best map. And I was supposed to win the previous game. And now I lose this game as well. Oh, dear lord. That could become a downward spiral here for the Blue Zerg. But anyway, there he is in the top right. Dark from the Dragon Phoenix, the gamer. And the other gaming Dragon Phoenix, Red Terran in the bottom left side. He is Cure. Put your hopes and dreams in his hands. Because he needs as many hopes and dreams right now that we can give him. Because, well, it's getting rather tight here. Still on match point is this blue Zerg boy. Trying to obtain victory. As Cure is just trying to stay alive for one more game. And then potentially turn this show upside down again once more. And run off with the victory. Just barely snatching the win out of Dark's overall grasp. And this is another thing of like the difference between a best of 9 and a best of 7, isn't it? If this was a best of 7, Dark would have won 4-2. And it's just an entirely different... It's an entirely different overall experience now because of this. Because Cure had another opportunity here. Imagine him winning one more game here. And then instead of it being a 4-2, it's suddenly being a 5-4. Or even a 4-5 if Cure takes 2 games here. Now, you might want to say as well, they probably would have played differently if it was the best of 7. Maybe. I'm not completely convinced about that, but that could be a good point. Other Kozen is trying to play the devil's advocate here. Lovely micro here from Dark, though. Oh my dear lord. Does still lose one of those links and losing another one, actually. And I was very impressed with the overall moving backwards of low HP links, but... still not enough. Not enough. And Creep Tumor dies as well. And actually, you know what? I was praising his micro, but... maybe I shouldn't have. Did get a drone out, though, in time to secure a third base, so... you know what? Props where props are due. That is going in his favor. Kure once again going for a quick third himself as well, though. And will finish up around at the same time as Dark's third base will as well. And these screens are putting in a lot of overtime hours trying to get rid of this Reaper here. A lot of value on that bad boy. Is that going to delay some of the injections here for Dark? It looks like they will actually, just a tiny smidge. Just a tiny smidge. So yeah, Kure once again playing this straight up here. Going for the Hellions, going for the Banshees, and man oh man. I think we started this off with me saying both these plays, I'm expecting them to play very, very standard, just straight up regular stuff. And a lot of macro games, and that is pretty much what we've seen. A little bit of proxying happening now and again, right? But that was 2 games so far where we had the proxy 2 racks, and holy moly. The rest of these, the rest of this best of 9, very, very impressive stuff. Incredible games. Very, very, just nice overall watching experience here. At least from my point of view. Unless if you're a Protoss, of course. We're just gonna have to hope that even though these guys started 1.5 hours before the PvP, that this will the PvP will not end before this best of 9 will end actually. And we may want to consider going into some replays then if that is a possibility for us. Alright. Because they should have started playing about 30 minutes ago. It's not that far of a stretch of the imagination seeing this series continuing onwards though for another, what, 20 minutes? Half an hour? 2 big macro games here, perhaps? It could end within 3 minutes as well though, of course. With Banshees just absolutely annihilating everything, though it doesn't look like that will be the case though. It's actually an incredible amount of damage so far. Once more, so many workers just continuously being picked off for Dark here. 12, 13 workers, and I always see Kure doing this to some Zerg players such as Ragnarok or Armani or maybe even Solar or something like that. And I always thought like, wow, probably like a really good Zerg wouldn't take this amount of damage. But I mean, here we're seeing possibly one of the strongest Korean Zergs, possibly. I guess Solar as well, though, to be fair. Solar's been playing incredibly well, though. Huh. I always thought like there would be some sort of a peak where, you know what, Kure would not be able to get that much damage and that much value out of those Banshees, but here we're seeing him doing it against Dark, you know, and if he makes this work against Dark, who is ready and who is fit to fight off against those Banshee, the Banshee control of Kure? Alright, big attack coming up right now. The Baning speed actually miles away from finishing here. We may be coming up for a relative close to an end right now. The Zerglings, although, you know what, the Zerglings actually managed to clean this up rather nicely. I thought just looking at the overall supplies here, Kure should have had that one, but of course he still has a big clump of units in his main base as well, ready to defend off any type of potential Zergling run by here, which is not happening, of course, as we can see. Dark really throwing everything he has in the defense so far. And will that be the right choice? We don't quite know just yet. More units for Kure this time around. Will send absolutely everything here. Baling speed is almost ready, but it's not quite there yet. This base still in a lot of trouble. Can still be picked off. Siege tanks in a wonderful position as well. The Zerglings and Banelings most likely will only be able to come from one angle. Just the smallest patch of links right there on the top side actually going for a offensive attack right now. The bailing speed not ready just yet. Oh my dear lord, it's so close. He needed to go in there to try and save this base, but that is going to potentially cost him the game here. Losing not only the base now, but also those banelings and also those zerglings. This is potentially a lot of trouble here. The siege tank unsieged does allow those banelings to get a little bit closer, though. Nice movement away from the Hellbat. Will not sacrifice banelings unnecessarily so, but another big clump of forces already available for Cure. And this is one of those moments where he will just be able to slowly keep pushing in. And no matter how great the trades are for Dark here, you have to wonder that next attack of Cure, will it be able to push through? And you know what, I think we're not even going to be able to see another push. This may be it right now. Come in on up. A wonderful pre-split. A lot of creep tumors gone from the works here. +2/+2. You might as well cancel those right now to get a bit of extra dough in order to make some more units right now. But at the same time, +2/+2 finishing up for Cure. You need to have it as well. Even if you do clean this up, you're gonna be behind, and you need to have every little bit of advantage. And that's not going to be the case. GG is called. Dark taps out and... wait, hold up. I had the scores... Damn it! The scores weren't around, guys. Dark had 4, Cure had 3. So we're tied up right now. It's 4-4. 4-4. All tied up. We're going into game number 9. We're going into game number 9. Man, you know what? Whenever you see Dark versus Cure, some of these matches in an online event in a best of 9, you're just kind of hoping, you know, on the inside, like, all right, well, this could be pretty darn massive. And I'm getting absolutely everything that I've ever hoped for from these games so far. Dark and Cure really bringing their A game, and I mean, I think this is just a wonderful kind of showcase why big finals need to be best of 9 instead of a best of 7. Because I mean, come on, this would have ended on 4-2, and now suddenly, you know what, with a Proxy 2 Rex kind of falling to the wayside, and then suddenly still being able to kill off like a gazillion drones with 3 Reapers, being like, oh, well, I might as well try, right? I might as well try something here. Who knows, it may still work out in my favor. And then absolutely working out in his favor to the extent where it kind of felt like, what is happening here? This is fan fiction to the extreme. But, alright. Alright. Let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. It looks like everybody's back from the toilet. We're starting game number 9. Game number 9? Number 9? That's that Beatles song, right? That nobody really likes. Number 9. Isn't it? Is it the number 9 or is it some other number? I don't even know. Alright. Here we go, guys. To victory. And beyond. My dear lord. When we started this, one could only hope for something like this to occur. And here we are at game number 9. An incredibly close series between 2 team members that have been popping off pretty darn heavily on the online tournament market. And as we can see, this man over here recently kind of joining that online market, but already bringing it to a veteran of the online competitive spirit. Anyway, let's do the introductions in the top right side. Red Terran clawed his way all the way back from a 4-2 deficit. Finding an opportunity perhaps now to take the entire series. Take the best of 9 into his favor with one single more game. Here on Ice and Chrome, he is Dragon Phoenix Gaming. He is Cure. The bottom left side. There he is, the blue Zerg. Probably feeling like himself that he should have won a while ago right now. Right? You have to kind of put yourself into that mindset. You were on, you know what? You were on a 4-2 advantage. Just one more game. That's all it needed. One single more game. I need to win one. He needs to win 3 more games. I have 3 chances to just get one victory. How hard can it be? I just beat this man 4 times out of 6. Now I just need to win once out of 3 times. Anyway. So far, it's getting a little bit dicey. He is none other than Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Dark. Ooh, getting that 3rd base there. That's a nice thing, of course, for Dark to have happen. Let's see if he keeps more Zerglings alive this time around. Need to just run away from that Reaper for as long as possible here. Alright. There we go. Does do this successfully this time around. Doesn't want to lose a creep tumor though, of course, either. Putting it far away, removed from that Reaper. Quite nice, deep on that creep. Deep on the in the creep jungle. We've only seen bio as well from Cure. I personally prefer seeing bio overall. I think I might be wrong on this, but I just feel like it does better on these big maps than the mech play, because it's just so slow, and counterattacks become such a volatile option. But at the same time, I mean, if you do manage to just set up shop and you get a very cost-efficient army on big maps like these, right? You can just be so cost-efficient continuously. It becomes impossible for your opponent to win, because you have so many bases still remaining to get that efficiency going with. Oh, quick overload speed. Uh-oh. Okay. Hellions pushing on through suddenly into the main base here. Oh, just in the nick of time, a couple more links come in and actually zone those Hellions away, buying very valuable time for these drones to move elsewhere. Needs to be careful, but more Hellions actually coming in from the top side now, and we'll be able to pick off 6 drones there for their troubles, with all those drones being stacked up, trying to run away from the other Hellions. Oh dear lord. Oh, okay, 9 workers there. Definitely worth it for those Hellions, especially considering we still have those Banshees coming up as well. Just barely out of vision range so far for Dark, but you know what? Coming in right now. Seeing the Spore Crawlers already in position. We'll just go for the creep instead. More Hellions again. Man, they are so terrifying right now, aren't they? Just seeing that value that they've achieved the previous time around, you need to really be careful with these little fire trucks. The true fire trucks. Okay, 2 engineering base and stim pack, so definitely committed once more to the bio play, and I can only rejoice that we're going to see more bio here. I think it really is the best for Cure as well. In particular, his style he's really good at continuously overall positioning himself with the bio, splitting with the bio, multi-pronged harassment. It is just wonderful to see. Of Of course, on a map as big as this, it's going to be difficult to make it work exactly as he wants to. The previous time when we did see this map, he was trying to force his way through this little choke point right here onto the 4th base to deny the 4th base. But Dark was just a little bit too efficient with his trades, too good with his creep spread overall as well, being able to withstand the onslaught. You know what, another thing actually worth noting, I always like it, it feels a little bit poetic in a sense where we started off on Ice and Chrome and we're finishing it on Ice and Chrome as well. The beginning and the end. StarCraft 2 is a circle, guys. It's all a dream, it's an illusion. Oh, one queen does fall down. We're just gonna continue onwards. We're on a full loop right now. And after this game, we're gonna restart the entire best of 9. Up until they are 4-4 again. And then we're gonna go to Ice and Chrome. And we'll restart the series once more. Forever and ever. For all eternity. Oh, we didn't see this the first time around though. Baneling drop coming into the natural base. Let's see what this will get done. No reaction just yet. And this is absolutely devastating. Cure not paying attention. Losing 10 workers for absolutely free. And Dark, I mean, his worker count wasn't all that impressive. But you know what? With the worker losses there for Cure, that makes it ever so much more doable now for Dark. Making good use of the Overlord speed, which he did get it earlier on in the game here to try and get a good scout of. And wonderfully, you know, just overall wonderful to see him making use of the of that tech that he got earlier on. Nice little bit of strategizing there. And Cure, actually, you know what, this army count in quite a high number here. Doesn't seem that high, honestly, just looking at it. I guess that is mostly because it's all spread out right now. As soon as it all comes together, yeah, right now it already starts to look a lot more imposing here. The Banelings not on creep right now. A lot of them already being picked off, like 3 or 4 of them. A lot of those Zerglings as well, kind of getting hurt a little bit here. And all these little tiny things matter, especially right now. More Baneling drops coming in. But you know what? All Dark really has to do with that drop coming in on the other bases as well. May just be just holding this off, not losing a base, not taking damage himself. Okay, so those Zerglings are not Banelings just quite yet, so we'll not be able to get anything done. The other drop of Banelings coming in again here, trying continuously, but moving backwards because of the quick move away here from Mr. Cure. Only a single SCV does go down. Alright, now we have a massive surround being set up here by Dark. Is he going to commit to this fight? Yes, he is. Alright, in come the Banelings. Zerglings wrapping around on the backside. Those Banelings should get pretty good connections, but it is not going to be enough. Actually, a lot of the Banelings still being behind there. That would have been enough to kill off all those Marines, and I don't know what happened. Dark not realizing that those were not added onto the hotkey or something. I'm not completely certain, but that is absolutely devastating. Now Cure pushing on through, and looks like he may just be able to snowball this off of the blunder of Dark. A second wave of Banelings this time around. The Banelings do manage to come in here from the backside, but it's, oh my god, it's just barely enough. Is it enough? I don't even know anymore. More SCVs do die. On the top side here, the Baneling drop did finally manage to get in here. Dark just hanging on by a thread right now. 25 army supply available for this man, and Cure still on his front lawn. Dark needs to get the fire hose. He needs to get something here. He needs to get this kid off of his front porch, but he's just sitting here with the siege tanks. A lot of Marines coming closer and closer. The Baneling nest going down. That would be absolutely devastating, of course. Cannot allow that to happen. Banelings here not gonna work well off of the creep. Massive tank shot there before the Banelings got to safety. Down goes the Baneling nest. 12 more Banelings going to be in production right now. More Banelings from the top side. That is nice, but one tank shot, and that should clean most of that up right there. And that's not even all the Marines right now. They are seeping on through from every which corner. And this looks like it may be the capitulating point here. Dark, well fought best of 9, but Cure manages to take it, and GG is called. Cure somehow, some way, bringing it back all the way from a 2-4 deficit, and bringing redemption to his name and his overall family. Oh man, Cure, jeez Louise. That was rather nice to see. Absolutely amazing stuff right there from Cure. You know what? It's devastating to see something like that off of the back of those banelings, right? You saw how every circling, all the banelings were right on top of the Marines. They couldn't spread out anywhere. If those banelings from the backside had jumped in as well, that would have looked entirely differently. That would not have gone into the favor of Cure, that fight, I would say. And you know what, Dark is gonna have to be hitting himself on the head right there to lose a fight like that. That is just devastating, and that may have something to do as well with just overall the mindset as well, right? Being so far in the lead and then slowly but surely letting it seep out of his hands right now. And oh dear Lord, what a show indeed. Let us look into what we're doing here for the PvP series, of course. That will be following up this best of 9. I suppose a lot of things are going to feel a little bit empty after a best of 9 like that, but I'm certain all the Protoss fans will rejoice. And Hearts versus Patience, you know what? If anybody brings a little bit of flair into the PvP, it's definitely going to be Hearts. Always comes up with some lovely strategies and some new things here and there. Let me see. Azure is in a custom game right now, so we're gonna have to wait a little bit here until those guys are out of that game, and we'll get it sorted. So, yeah, guys, we'll I'll do one last shout out for that Matcherino, of course. If you haven't already, that would be greatly appreciated to check it out. Let me see actually if I can get this on the screen real quick. This is the Matcherino. Help us out, please, if you could, just for a couple of seconds. Press that contribute, fill in the coupon code, which is AXCOM, and then just 145 and 50 cents, just like that. If you press contribute afterwards, will be added into the prize pool. I can't do it myself anymore. I've already done it. Other than that, there's a replay pack as well available. $5 for the 9 games that were played right here between these two. And honestly, I think this is a really good replay pack to get. If you want to just get yourself a little bit more of an understanding of the ZVT matchup and how to take more games off of the ladder. I mean, whether you're playing Terran, whether you're playing Zerg, this is going to be a great one overall. You're going to be able to take away a lot of information overall from these games, I would say. Very, very, very cool stuff. Alright, I need to keep an eye out on Azure. And while we wait, actually, let me set this up. I didn't didn't fully plan this completely perfectly, but we'll get it sorted, guys. Just a little bit of life overall. Editing of stuff. Alright, let me do it like this. Alright, there we go, there we go. Battlestar, Battlestar. Lemo. Just gonna put it over here for a second. Or you know what? No, let's go into the pre-roll, and then as soon as it starts, as soon as they're out of that game, we'll join up with them and we'll get that started. So we'll be right back, guys.